Rapper Travis Scott said he would pay the funeral costs of the people who died in a crowd crush at his Astroworld festival in Houston, but the youngest victim's family says it's declining his offer. The death toll from the November 5 concert now stands at 10, and dozens of lawsuits have been filed following the festival tragedy, according to Harris County District Court records. Ezra Blunt, a 9-year-old Houston boy injured at the event, was placed in a medically induced coma in an attempt to overcome brain, liver and kidney trauma but died from his injuries 8 days after the festival, according to family attorney Ben Crump. Ezra was taken to the concert by his father Treston Blunt. His grandfather Vernon Blunt told CNN. Two high school students, an engineering student and a man who was trying to save his fiancée are among the Astroworld Festival victims. Daniel M. Petrocelli, an attorney representing Travis Scott, sent a letter dated November 24 to both Crump and Bob Hilliard, who are representing the Blunt family, to extend Scott's deepest sympathies and condolences to Mr. Blunt for the loss of his beloved son Ezra, and to offer his financial support. Hilliard replied with the family's response, rejecting the offer. The loss of a child is like a faucet of unimaginable pain that has no off handle, Hilliard's letter said. Your client's offer is declined. The letters were provided to CNN by Hilliard. CNN has reached out to Petrocelli and Scott's team for comment, but has not heard back. Scott said in a statement following the Astroworld event that he was devastated about what happened. He went to see his favorite artist. Ezra was in Houston to see his favorite artist and attended the concert with his father Treston Blunt, said his grandfather Vernon Blunt. When my son went to the concert, he had my grandson on his shoulder, Vernon Blunt said. All the people pushed in, and he could not breathe, so he ended up passing out because of all the pressure that was being applied to his body. And when he passed out, Ezra fell off his shoulder and fell into the crowd. Family of a 21-year-old who died at the Astroworld Festival among 125 plaintiffs who filed a lawsuit over the deadly concert. Petrocelli's letter went on to say that Scott is devastated by the tragedy and also grieves for the families whose loved ones died or were injured. Travis very much would like to reach out personally, but does not wish to intrude on Mr. Blount's privacy during his time of grieving, Petrocelli's letter said. Travis is committed to doing his part to help the families who have suffered and begin the long process of healing in the Houston community. Toward that end, Travis would like to pay for the funeral expenses for Mr. Blount's son. The letter concluded by stating that this offer would have no effect on any lawsuits the family may be part of. There may be, and I hope there is, redemption and growth for him on the other side of what this painful process will be, and perhaps one day, once time allows, some healing for the victims and acceptance of responsibility by Mr. Scott and others. Treston and Mr. Scott might meet, as there is also healing in that, Hilliard's letter said. For now, Mr. Scott must respect the fact that his pain and his devastation pale to Treston's, Ezra's mom, and the other victims. Funeral services underway for Astroworld Festival victims as dozens of lawsuits are filed over the tragedy days after the concert. Houston-born artist Scott released a statement saying he would cover all funeral costs for the festival's victims and that he was partnering with BetterHelp to provide free mental health services to all those affected. The tragedy has prompted a flurry of legal filings. In one, more than 280 Astroworld Festival concertgoers are represented in a lawsuit announced by the Thomas J. Henry law firm in a November 18 news release. The suit, filed earlier that week, names defendants including Apple Music, Scott, the rapper Drake and Live Nation, alleging they were negligent and stood to make an exorbitant amount of money from the event but chose to cut corners, cut costs and put the festival attendees at risk. CNN reached out to the defendants but did not immediately hear back. Live Nation previously said in a statement it was heartbroken for those lost and impacted and will continue working to provide as much information and assistance as possible to the local authorities as they investigate the situation. Drake said in a statement posted on Instagram after the concert that his heart is broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives and for anyone who is suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them, and will be of service in any way I can. CNN's Karma Hassan, Chloe Milos, Rosa Flores, Raja Razik and Amir Vera contributed to this report.